Good afternoon. Thank y'all for being here. As you know, we've been working over the past several weeks and months on the state budget, and today our Appropriation Committee chairs, Senator Brown, Senator Jackson, and Senator Harrington and I are here to announce the details of our budget proposal. Anyone who has seen our Senate budgets over the past 6 years will not be surprised that this budget continues our philosophy of improving outcomes in public education, providing generous tax cuts for the middle class and job creators, controlling spending growth, and saving for the future. This is the same successful approach that has resulted in consecutive years of revenue surpluses, including this year's $580 million budget surplus. Overall, this balanced budget spends $22.9 billion. It increases spending by 2.5% over last year's adopted budget and 3.75% over last year's actual spending. And it focuses those increases on key areas, like providing $600 million more for public education. It continues implementing a plan announced last year to dramatically increase teacher pay, providing teachers an average 3.7% raise this year and 9.5% raise over the 2 years of the biennium, while also ensuring that they earn far more over the course of a career. It substantially increases principal pay, and it directs roughly $200 million in the first year alone toward compensation increases to state employees. The budget provides $150 million in disaster relief assistance to the victims of Hurricane Matthew and adds $363 million to the state's rainy day fund, bringing the Savings Reserve Fund to its highest level ever. And it includes provisions to fund public school construction in economically struggling rural counties, adds thousands of slots to the pre-K program, creates a new economic development fund to help attract major manufacturing employers to the state. Finally, as a result of responsible budgeting decisions over multiple years, millions of middle-class families and job-creating small businesses will also be able to keep more of their own earnings under this budget. It includes the Senate's billion-dollar middle-class tax cut, with 99% of taxpayers either paying less or paying no state personal income taxes at all. In large part, what you'll find is that in this budget and Governor Cooper's budget proposal are many of the same funding priorities. The difference is simply different spending levels. We understand that some want to spend more than this budget spends, but memories can be short. We have not forgotten the mess we found in 2011, the result of years of spending growth at unsustainable levels. And we feel strongly that when government collects more than it needs, some of that money should be returned to the taxpayers. So once again, I commend our appropriations chairs and my Senate colleagues for crafting a balanced budget that delivers nearly $1 billion in tax relief to the middle class and our state's job creators, ensures 99% of taxpayers pay less or no state income tax, makes North Carolina more competitive in teacher pay, invests generously in our public schools, and helps rebuild communities devastated by Hurricane Matthew, all while saving for a future rainy day. I'll now turn the floor over to our appropriations chairs to talk about some additional key provisions in the budget. Senator Brown.
Thank you, Senator Berger. I'll touch on a few areas. I'll start with salaries and benefits. This budget keeps the plan to dramatically increase average teacher pay from last year's budget, investing $131 million in the first year alone. This is in addition to the substantial teacher pay raises legislators passed in 2014, 15, and 16. It includes a new plan to let highly qualified new teachers begin a higher pay grade on the salary schedule, providing financial incentive to those who accept positions in low-performing schools or licensed in special education or STEM classes or meet other criteria. It provides $28.5 million to substantially increase principal and assistant principal pay, including funds for performance bonuses for principals. In total, K through 12 education, now that budget is over or right at $9 billion. It includes $10 million in additional compensation for community college employees. It provides a $750 or 1.5% salary increase, whichever is greater, to most state employees. It offers experience-based step increases to teachers, state highway patrol, troopers, clerks, and magistrates. It provides $10 million in the biennium toward hard-to-hire positions across state government, such as health care technicians and nurses. It designates roughly $4 million to allow Governor Cooper to increase the base salary ranges for many state workers. In education, it increases funding for public education by more than $600 million over 2 years. It fully funds K-12, community college, and public university enrollment growth. It allocates $75 million for grants to economically struggling rural counties to assist with critical public school building needs. It invests an additional $10 million in recurring dollars in textbooks and digital resources. It codifies the legislature's intent to use data it is currently gathering from local school systems in accordance with state law to fund a new salary allotment for kindergarten through 5th grade program enhancement, which is the music, art, PE teachers, beginning in 18-19 school year. It expands the teacher-assisted tuition reimbursement program to 14 additional counties, which provides tuition reimbursement for up to 5 TAs per district to pursue a college degree leading to teacher licensure. It supports the new North Carolina Teacher Fellows Program through the North Carolina Education Endowment Fund. It protects the Read to Achieve, Teach for America, and Communities in Schools program from being cut by the Department of Public Instruction to fund bureaucracy. It provides additional assistance to community colleges for workforce training programs. It honors the commitment to fully fund the North Carolina Promise program, which guarantees in-state undergraduate students at 3 schools across the state pay just $500 per semester for tuition. It includes over $20 million in new funding for medical education, including funding increases to the UNC School of Medicine for approximately 30 new slots for medical students and to the school's Asheville campus. It provides additional stabilization funds to Elizabeth City State University to help get the school on solid financial ground. It directs $1.5 million to the Cheatham White Scholarship Program, which will provide state matching funds for up to 20 scholarships at both North Carolina Central University and North Carolina A&T University beginning in 2018 fall semester. And Health and Human Services, it provides more than $18 million over 2 years to add an additional 2,350 pre-K slots, cutting the wait list in half for at-risk students or children. It upgrades the controlled substance reporting system that will use advanced analytics to detect and fight prescription drug abuse. It allocates $15 million over 2 years to community health centers, rural health centers, free clinics, and other health service providers in rural and underserved areas that assist the uninsured. It invests $18 million to improve North Carolina's child welfare program, including new training and prevention programs, and nearly $4 million to improve accountability and oversight of the system. It earmarks close to $3 million to provide support for additional foster children in the system, and it continues preparing for the transition to Medicaid reform by allocating $150 million over 2 years to grow the Medicaid Transformation Reserve. In Justice and Public Safety, it begins the process to raise the age in North Carolina, ensuring 16 and 17-year-olds suspected of misdemeanor offenses will be tried as juveniles instead of adults by December 1, 2020, and establishes a juvenile jurisdiction advisory committee to develop specific plans for implementation. It funds an opioid prevention pilot project in Wilmington, putting in place a quick response team to address the needs of opiate and heroin overdose victims. It strengthens laws against human trafficking and funds signage to increase awareness of the warning signs of trafficking. It creates a new Department of Adult Correction and Juvenile Justice to more effectively manage inmate custody and supervision statewide. It funds needed additional positions in the state court system, including 56 new deputy clerks of court and 37 new assistant district attorneys. It provides more than $4 million for law enforcement training for North Carolina officers. I'll turn it over to Senator Jackson to complete.
Thank you, Senator Brown. In our taxes and economic development, our $1 billion tax plan that Senator Berger mentioned a couple of times, we're going to be reducing the burden on North Carolina families and small businesses by cutting the personal income rate from 5.499 to 5.35% in 2018, and increasing the amount of income that is exempt from the state income tax. We're going to lower the corporate income tax rate from 3% to 2.75% in 2018, and to 2.5% in 2019. We're simplifying and reducing the franchise tax on small businesses. We are creating a new economic development fund to help attract major manufacturing projects. We're providing additional funds to support tourism, advertising, as well as domestic and internationally advertising to promote economic development for North Carolina. We're allocating close to $4 million for revitalization in grants to towns and small cities across our state. In agriculture and the environment, we are increasing funding for the Clean Water Management Trust Fund, the Tobacco Trust Fund, and the Agricultural Development and Farmland Preservation Trust Fund. We're expanding support for our aquaculture industry and providing additional funding for dredging to ensure our valuable economic activity at our coast can continue. We're allocating over $500,000 to expand international marketing of North Carolina agricultural products. We're providing recurring funding for engineers to improve dam safety and review emergency action plans to help prevent catastrophic flooding. We're setting aside $2 million to purchase a new firefighting aircraft in the wake of the devastating wildfires we experienced last fall in western North Carolina. In transportation, we're increasing funding for the Strategic Transportation Investment Program, STIP, as a lot of you know it by $320 million over the 2 years. We're including $246 million to improve structurally deficient bridges across our state, and we're adding $130 million to improve the condition and safety of existing roads and increasing funding for pavement preservation by $70 million, extending the life of thousands of miles of roads in our great state. We're investing $40 million to fund immediate need construction projects across the state that improve mobility and safety, to reduce congestion and spur economic development. We're including $208 million over 2 years for roadside environmental fund dedication to ensuring that the safety and beautification of our state's highways is in place. We're modernizing the state's transportation network by providing additional funding to airports across the state for infrastructural improvements, as well as to our state ports, or to the State Ports Authority for infrastructure and dredging needs. Elsewhere scattered throughout our budget, you will find the following. We're helping to preserve North Carolina military operations by allocating $2 million for the next base realignment closure. We're adding $120 to make needed repairs and renovations to the state and university facilities. We're continuing our commitment to improve government transparency by funding a website that makes every state agency, county, and local school district budget available for all citizens to view online. We're aiming to make government operations more efficient by investing in a fully consolidated statewide enterprise resource planning system, otherwise known as ERP. Helps the Office of the State Auditor conduct more specialized audits and allocates funding to assist the State Department of Revenue in identifying and preventing tax fraud. I would like to add also, as considering the Savings Reserve in House Bill 7, that was a bipartisan bill passed by both the Senate and the House and signed by Governor Cooper. With the new additions to our Savings Reserve in this budget, we will be setting at a little over $1.8 billion, and that is 8.2% of what is required, and that is an historical level for our state. Thank you, and we'll entertain questions at this time.